Hey my friends, so today what we're going to do is we are going to continue with the subject of dot painting that we learned about the last time we met as a class. But now that we've kind of practiced and whatnot with the patterns and stuff on the paper towels and the napkins and the other types of paper I showed you that you could use, now we're going to take this concept, but we're going to take it one step further for an awesome completed finished piece of art. All right, so here's what I'm thinking. I've got a napkin here, all right, so again, this started off just like this, all right, and what I'm going to want you to do this time is I'm going to want you to use your initials in some type of dot painting design, all right, the first initial of your first name and the first initial of your last name, all right. So for me, my full name is Carlos Michael, so I picked the C and the M. All right. Let's not do more than two initials. I know we have middle names too, but just for size and whatnot, let's go ahead and let's just do two initials. Okay. Now, how we can do this too is if you would like, say for example, on the paper towels like a lot of us used last time, there's the design and stuff in there. If you want to use that as part of your design, that is cool, but you are somehow going to have to get your initials in there as well. Okay? So what I mean by that is maybe, and you got to be careful when you do this, all right? If your pencil is way too sharp, it may rip into your paper. I'm using a pen just so you can see my lines a little bit better, but you're going to want to do this with a pencil, okay? So what I might do, say if I was using this paper towel, is, I don't know, like I said, it would just depend on what I'm thinking. Maybe I would put, oh, you can kind of see how there's this kind of wavy design here, but then these spaces are kind of left open. So what if I put a C over here, all right, and this one. And again, like I said, be very careful how hard you push with your pencil when you do this, because you don't want to rip the paper. Especially like paper towels are a little tougher, but napkins and toilet paper and the what was the things that we used? The coffee filters sometimes can be a little more fragile than the paper towels. So just be careful. All right, but I'm going to do that, and then maybe over here in this space, I'll come in and I'll put the M. All right. And then maybe I'm not even going to use like all that space over there. I'm just going to kind of make my design here over to here. Okay. But now what I would do is perhaps I could do it this way. I could come in and here's how I suggest you do it first. Once you figure out where those initials are going to go on your piece of paper there, okay? Once you figure that out, do the initials first. Now, don't do just like what I'm, well, let me rephrase that. Do what I'm doing here, but what I don't want you to do is just simply, like I just kind of outlined, all right? We got to get inside too and fill them up, okay? So I'm going to come in and put some more dots on the inside to fill it up. Remember, we're not just pecking. There's kind of like an order to our dots, okay? Maybe I'll come over here. There's kind of like a pattern to how we dot. All right, so there's my initials. We can clearly see the C and the M. But now, if I want, now I can maybe come back and use the pattern that's already there to kind of help me finish out my design. All right, so I could come back in and use the dots that are already there, kind of like what we did the first day we did this when we practiced. Okay, I could use those to kind of help me with my design. All right, so I'd like to do all these little wavy dots here with red. go. All right. Now, the space that's kind of between the red and that kind of teal color I used there for the C and the M, all right, I'm going to pick a different color. Maybe I'm going to go with, let's see, how about like a darker purple. So now I'm going to come back in and I'm going to fill in those spaces. Again, trying my best to kind of follow a bit of a pattern. Even though there's not really one there, I'm kind of making my own, but I'm not just, like I said, I'm not just doing like chicken pecking dots, okay? Alright, so that's kind of filled in there. Come over here and do this one. Fill in the space there. See, I'm kind of like making like lines with my dots there. So there's some kind of order to the dot, so it just doesn't look like I'm just chicken pecking around. Okay, there we go. Now, I've got all this stuff out here again I can use. I kind of think this red line here is a little thin. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come and put like another little red outline around that first one, just to kind of darken that, or not darken, to thicken that red line up. I think that's going to look a little bit better. Alright, so that's looking pretty cool. And again, I'm kind of using the pattern stuff that the paper towel has given me. Now, I might come back in, okay, and now I'm going to go with this green. And I'm going to do like an outline in the green. Go around the top up here too. In fact, I think I might do the same thing as I did with the red. I think I will go with the second line of dots, just to kind of thicken that one up. Make it stand out just a little bit more. Do the same thing down here with the bottom. Alright. And there we go. And now I've got like big spaces over here that I could use. Maybe I could do something like this even. I know there's no dots or lines here, but I could make my own. Maybe do something like this. Kind of take that green up here into those diamonds. I'm going to take it down here to these diamond shapes. Alright. Kind of want to thicken those up, so I'm going to put another row of dots there to make those green diamonds kind of stand out. There we go. And now I'll come back in. Maybe I'll use some yellow on the inside there. Alright, and then I could keep going with whatever I'm going to put out here. I could, again, follow the pattern and whatnot that's going on out there. Or what you could do is, like what I did with my napkin here. Alright, so remember this started out as this. And there's not really a pattern on there. I mean, it's like a lot of dots and like a real light kind of diamond pattern in there, but it's kind of hard to see. So I kind of treated this as just kind of like a blank piece of paper. Alright, so how I started was, again, I'm using a pen so you can see my lines better. You guys use a pencil. But what I did was, I just came in and I drew my initials. And when you do your initials, guys, see how I'm doing kind of like these bubble letters, or block kind of letters? Those are going to work a lot better for you, okay? If you make your letters like this, that's not going to work so well, okay? This will work really well. That's what we call a block letter because it kind of has little angles and points and stuff on it. Or you could use something what we call a bubble letter, where they're just kind of round. Alright, either one of those would work. But again, just kind of stay away from just single line letters like that. And if you have a hard time trying to make like the block letters and stuff like that, here's a simple way to do it. All right. This time I'm going to need a pencil. Where's my pencil? There it is. So this time, say for example, I want to do a C and an M. Okay. Again, we know this isn't going to work. And like Mr. Michael said, I have to make it a block or a bubble letter. We'll just do this then. Start with the normal letter, but now come back in and make it like a bubble letter. Okay, or a block letter. Maybe your initials are, let's say, PS. All right. Write it normal. Come back in. Put these little things. Erase what you don't need. There you go. You got a block letter there. Come over here. Just add another like S behind that one. There you go. Okay. If you don't like it, then just bring it out a little bit more. Just be careful. Like I said, don't erase too hard. Don't draw too hard because this stuff is kind of delicate. All right. Or, you know what? I've got another way I can show you here how to do this too. I'm just going to do it on this red paper again. Another way we can kind of make like a bigger letter is, for example, let's say again I'm going to do CM. So there's like the C. Okay. And that's really good. I mean, it looks like a good looking C, but again, it's too thin. Okay. Come back in. Put some more dots. Alright, maybe come back, go on the inside again or on the outside, make another row of dots. Alright, this looks a lot better than that. Okay, so that's another way you can kind of make a bigger letter. So you can kind of do like we said, kind of like the blocky letters, alright, or the bubble letters. Or the technique I just showed you, how to take that and turn it into that. Okay? But now, then you can see what I did is I drew these out on my paper or on my napkin, and then, like I just showed you, I went in and filled up the letter C and the M, kind of outlined it with that purplish color, and then just kind of went and dotted my own designs and patterns in there. All right? And filled the space between each little design there with its own little color. Well, the initials were kind of the same color, so they stood out a little bit more. All right, my friends. So again, you can kind of do like what we did here. Use the napkin as kind of like, or your paper towel, or a coffee filter, or a piece of toilet paper. You can use it just kind of like leave it, even though it might have a pattern in there. You could just kind of pretend like it's a blank piece of paper and create your own designs. Make sure you get your initials in there. Or you could do like what we did here, is where we kind of used the pattern, okay, but we also put in our initials. All right, so you wind up with something looking kind of like that. All right, my friends.